old train station last October just to see if it looked the way I remembered. But memory has a habit of sanding off the rough edges and leaving only the parts it knows you'll miss. The benches seem smaller, the platform seems shorter. Funny how places never really shrink. It's the years between you and them that keep getting bigger. There was a time I'd stand there thinking every train was carrying somebody toward a better life, somewhere beyond this little southern town where everybody knew my last name before they knew my first. Now I wonder how many people spent their lives trying to leave home, only to spend the rest of them trying to understand it. The map keeps changing. The heart usually doesn't. Autumn Station, still waiting in my mind, where every goodbye felt endless and every hello came on time. Autumn Station, standing through the years, holding all the moments that disappeared before they disappeared. Autumn Station, still standing there. Short midnight blues phrase. I've learned that growing older isn't about collecting answers. It's about asking quieter questions, questions that don't need fixing, questions that simply deserve your company for a little while. Maybe that's what wisdom feels like. Not certainty, just a little less hurry. Funny thing about time, it never asks you to keep up, only to keep going. Very low, almost hidden. Autumn Station, still waiting in my mind, where every goodbye felt endless and every hello came on time. Autumn Station, standing through the years, holding all the moments that disappeared before they disappeared. Autumn Station, still standing there. Standing there. The rails fade into the evening. The wind carries one last whistle. Still standing there. Bass moves first, drums settle in dry and steady. A guitar bends birdie behind the groove. to think the light inside a man was something he was born with, something steady in the chest, something trouble couldn't take away. Now I know most of what we shine with has been handed down in pieces from a mother's tired kindness, from a friend who chose to stay. There's a kitchen window in my memory with one small bulb above the sink, and I can still see my old man standing there, too worn down to speak. He never called it love, he never had the words, but he left the porch light burning like he knew I'd return. The years can dim the edges, the night can change the view, but what was given softly keeps walking inside you. Borrowed light remains when the dark road calls your name, when your hands get tired and your heart feels changed. Borrowed light remains in the silence and the rain, not loud enough to save you, just strong enough to say, keep moving through the pain. Borrowed light remains. Short midnight blues phrase, warm and restrained. Carried other people's mercy through places they'll never know, through hotel rooms and empty streets, through miles that move too slow. Some came from strangers, some came from songs, some came from losing something and learning to live on. Funny thing about kindness, it don't always look like grace. Sometimes it's just a hand on your shoulder before you leave a place. Very low, almost hidden, like breath behind the walls. Borrowed light remains when the dark road calls your name, when your hands get tired and your heart feels changed. Borrowed light remains in the silence and the rain, not loud enough to save you, just strong enough to say, keep moving through the pain. Borrowed light remains, still burning the same, still burning the same. The porch light flickers, the road keeps turning. Borrowed light remains, still burning the same. Bass walks in low, drums fall dry behind it. A guitar note once and disappears. to think the dust was only what got left behind when something ended. When the wheels moved on, when the room went quiet after all the noise. Now I know it holds the shape of every life that passed through slowly. Every tired hand, every broken plan, every man still searching for his voice. There's a back road store outside of town with one red sign half gone. And every time I pass that place, I feel the years keep driving on. Not cruel, not kind, just steady, like they always knew the way. The past don't need a doorway, the night don't need a key. Some things you thought were buried still rise up quietly. Dust learns mercy when the hard wind dies, when the old road settles and the truth don't lie. Dust learns mercy where the lost days go, where a man forgives the miles that made his walking slow. Dust learns mercy, and I'm still letting go. Short midnight blues phrase, dry and smoky, play close to the floor. I've had names I couldn't mention, in rooms I couldn't face, had pride enough to lose my way, and shame enough to stay. But I've also seen the evening put gold on broken ground, like heaven had been listening without ever making a sound. Funny thing about surrender, it don't always look like peace. Sometimes it's just a moment you let one old battle leave. Very low, almost hidden, like warm air behind the wall. Dust learns mercy when the hard wind dies, when the old road settles and the truth don't lie. Dust learns mercy where the lost days go, where a man forgives the miles that made his walking slow. Dust learns mercy, and I'm still letting go, still letting go, still letting go, still letting go, still letting go. The road keeps settling, the night keeps breathing. Dust learns mercy, still letting go.
Bass comes in steady, drums sit dry and close. The guitar note bends low behind behind the room. I used to think the strongest hearts were always loud enough to show it, always standing in the weather like they never felt the cold. Now I know the deepest fire is sometimes buried under silence, burning where the world can't see it, somewhere underneath the stone. There's a roadside chapel near the pines with no bell left to ring, and every time I pass that place I feel the night remember everything. Not the words, not the sermon, just the weight of being known, and the strange kind of mercy that finds you when you're alone. The years can cover embers, the rain can hide the glow, but what was meant to keep you keeps burning down below. Fires under storm still warm the midnight ground. Ooh, still hold a little promise when the whole world settles down. Fires under storm don't need a flame to rise, they just keep a tired man walking with some light behind his eyes. Fires under storm still carrying me on. Short midnight blues phrase, dry bend, low impatience. I've had losses I kept quiet, fears I never named, had mornings where the mirror looked at me like I should feel ashamed. But I've also had a moment when the dark stepped to the side, and I found one small reason still living there inside. Funny thing about endurance, it don't always look like pride. Sometimes it's just a whisper that refuses to die. Very low, almost hidden, like heat under black earth. Fires under stone still warm the midnight ground, still hold a little promise when the whole world settles down. Fires under stone don't need a flame to rise, they just keep a tired man walking with some light behind his eyes. Fires under stone still carrying me on, still carrying me on, still carrying me on. The night keeps turning, the road keeps breathing. Fires under storm still carrying me on.
There used to be an old windmill standing beside a hickory tree just outside my hometown, turning slow enough that you'd wonder if if it was moving at all, until you looked away and looked back again. I think that's how most of life happens. Not in big moments, just quiet turns you almost miss. I spent years believing progress had to be loud. A better paycheck, a bigger truck, a longer driveway. Now I trade every one of those things for another afternoon, listening to that old windmill, doing exactly what it was built to do. Maybe growing older is finally learning that enough can actually be enough. Hickory windmill turning through the years, never in a hurry, never driven by fear. Hickory windmill showing me somehow you don't have to race the world to know where you're bound. Hickory windmill still turning slow. Short midnight blues phrase. These days I find myself admiring people who stay steady. The man who opens the hardware store before sunrise. The woman who still bakes pies for every church supper. The neighbor who checks on everyone after a storm. They'll never make the headlines, but they're the reason small towns keep breathing. Funny thing about ordinary people, most of the time, they're the ones holding everything together. Very low, almost hidden. Hickory windmill turning through the years, never in a hurry, never driven by fear. Hickory windmill showing me somehow you don't have to race the world to know where you're bound. Hickory windmill still turning slow, still turning slow. The evening breeze keeps blowing, the old blades never stop, still turning slow. I'm coming dry. I used to think a man was only strong when he could stand there without trembling, without looking back, without needing one soft place to rest his heart. Now I know the strongest ones are often those who keep on moving, with a crack inside the frame, and still don't let the whole thing fall apart. There's a little church outside of town with rainwater on the steps, and every time I pass that door I think of prayers I never said. Not because I didn't need them, not because I didn't care. I just thought heaven had enough trouble without me standing there. The night can leave you empty, the years can leave a stain, but some lights burn clearer after lanterns feel the rain. Lanterns after rain still know how to glow, even when the road gets heavy, even when the cold wind blows. Lanterns after rain don't shine like they did before, but they carry just enough fire to find one open door. Lanterns after rain still leading me home. Short midnight blues phrase, soft bend, dry and close. I've seen love become a shadow and pride become a chain, seen good intentions disappear like tire tracks in rain. But I've also seen forgiveness come quiet through the door, not asking for a reason, just asking nothing more. Funny thing about the weather, it don't ask what you can take. It just falls across your shoulders and shows you what won't break. Almost hidden, tremolo underneath, like a porch light far away. Lanterns after rain still know how to glow, even when the road gets heavy, even when the cold wind blows. Lanterns after rain don't shine like they did before, but they carry just enough fire to find one open door. Lanterns after rain still leading me home, still leading me home, still leading me home. The rain keeps fading, the road keeps breathing. Lanterns after rain, still leading me home. Nearly half my life I woke up to the same factory whistle before the sun had a chance to climb above the water tower. And after enough years it stopped sounding like a siren and started sounding like another heartbeat. Funny how a man can spend decades believing he's working for the clock, only to find out the clock has quietly been shaping the man instead. These mornings are different now. quit years ago. The factory windows are boarded up. The parking lot grows weeds instead of pickup trucks. But every now and then, just before daylight, I swear I still hear it riding the wind across town. Maybe memory has its own way of punching the time clock long after everyone else has gone home. Morning whistle, still calling out my name, not asking me to hurry, not asking me to change. Morning whistle, still echoing somewhere near, reminding me that honest work never really disappears. Morning whistle, still ringing on. Short midnight blues phrase. I used to think the biggest things I'd leave behind would be the jobs I finished, the overtime I worked, the bills I paid, the years I gave away, one shift at a time. Now I know people remember smaller things, the way you shook a hand, the promises you kept, the mornings you showed up. Funny thing about a good life, it rarely feels important while you're living it. Very low, almost hidden. Morning whistle, still calling out my name, not asking me to hurry, not asking me to change. Morning whistle, still echoing somewhere near, reminding me that honest work never really disappears. Morning whistle, still ringing on, still ringing on. The first light reaches the rooftops. The town wakes one porch at a time, still ringing on.
Bass rolls and slow, drums keep it dry. A guitar note leans against the night. I used to think the morning had to come in bright and golden, with some holy kind of promise shining clean across the floor. I know it's sometimes in us like a tired man at closing, quiet through the back door, asking nothing anymore. There's a river past the county line where my younger heart still stands, throwing stones at his reflection like he never understood the man. I don't blame him now, I don't call his name,
I just watched that water carry what I couldn't carry the same. The night don't last forever, but it takes its own sweet time. And every soul that makes it leaves something there behind. River carries dawn through the black and broken hours, past the rusted bridge, past the fallen flowers. The river carries dawn where the lonely waters bend, where a man stops running from the places he has been. The river carries dawn, and I'm still crossing on. Short midnight blues phrase, low bend. Warm and dry, that move like dust, had promises turned bitter in the hands of folks I trust. But I've also seen a mercy so quiet it made no sound, just standing there beside me when my pride had laid me down. Funny thing about the darkness, it don't always mean you're lost. Sometimes it's just the passage every honest man must cross. Very low, almost hidden, like a light under the door. River carries dawn through the black and broken hours, past the rusted bridge, past the fallen flowers. River carries dawn where the lonely waters bend, where a man stops running from the places he has been. River carries dawn, and I'm still crossing on. Still crossing on. Still crossing on. The water keeps moving, the sky keeps turning. River carries dawn, still crossing on. Wordless hums underneath, like a bulb in a back room. See the smell in the closet, dust on the polished shoes, one brown hat on the top shelf, bent from years of use. Mama kept his Sunday suit pressed behind the door, like a man could leave this world and still come home once more. I reached inside the jacket, found a nickel and a key, a pawn shop ticket faded, and a note addressed to me. 4 words in his writing, hard and plain and small: son, don't waste sorrow. That was all. No flowers on the table, no choir down the hall, just that old suit hanging like it knew the weight of it all. Sunday suit pocket, holding what it never said, a nickel for the jukebox, a key beside the dead. Sunday suit pocket, threadbare truth and shame. I spent half my life running from a man who loved the same. Sunday suit pocket, calling out my name. Clean, dry, and close, one bend held back before the drums return. He worked the loading platform with a lunch pail in his hand. Came home smelling like tobacco, motor oil and red clay land. Never asked for pity, never learned to rest, just folded all his hurting in the left side of his chest. I was young and full of thunder, he was quiet as a wall. I mistook his tired silence for not caring much at all. Now my hands look like his hands when the morning light comes through, and I hear that old note whisper, boy, I was scared too. Some men don't say sorry, some men don't say please. They just fix the broken screen door and leave money with the keys. Love don't always enter with a soft and golden sound. Sometimes it wears work boots and never sits down very low, almost hidden, warm behind the vocal. Sunday suit pocket, holding what he never said, a nickel for the jukebox, a key beside the dead. Sunday suit pocket, threadbare truth and shame. I spent half my life running from a man who loved the same. Sunday suit pocket, calling out my name. Calling out my name. The jacket stays hanging, the note stays folded, the shoes stay shining, and I grow older. Sunday suit pocket, calling out my name. Bass walks in slow, drums answer dry and close. A small guitar line bends in the dark. Used to carry every goodbye like a stone inside my coat. Every hard word, every closed door, every place I couldn't call home. I thought a man was measured by the weight he learned to hide, but the older I get, the more I know some burdens only teach you how to ride. There's a motel light still blinking somewhere south of yesterday, and a woman's voice in my memory that time never took away. I don't chase that sound no more, I just let it pass through me, like wind across an empty field, like rain across Tennessee. The night don't need an answer, the dark don't need a prayer. Sometimes you keep on moving just to prove you're still there. The road still knows my name, even when the lights go low, even when the miles turn cold and the years move slow. The road still knows my name, like a song I can't forget. I've been broken by the leaving, but I ain't finished walking yet. The road still knows my name, and I'm still moving on. Short blues phrase, low and smoky. I've seen good men lose their laughter, trying to win against the past. Seen young dreams turn to dust, seen fast love never last. But I've also seen the sunrise hit a windshield full of rain and make a tired old soul believe there's still beauty in the pain. Funny thing about the distance, it don't always take you far. Sometimes the longest road you travel is the one back to your heart. Soft trombone underneath, almost hidden like thunder far away. The road still knows my name, even when the lights go low, even when the miles turn cold and the years move slow. The road still knows my name, like a song I can't forget. I've been broken by the leaving, but I ain't finished walking yet. The road still knows my name, and I'm still moving on, still moving on, still moving on. The rain keeps falling, the wheels keep turning, the night keeps breathing, and I'm still moving on. Bass steps in alone, kick drum answers soft, wordless of flickers under the room like a tide station boat. Ticket man behind the glass, shirt sleeves rolled, eyes half closed, counting change like every coin had somewhere else to go. I stood there with a paper bag, one clean shirt, one pair of shoes, trying to buy a leaving I had already used. Woman on a wooden bench, a red scarf folded in her hand, looked at me like she understood what silence does to a man. No hello, no goodbye, just a nod across the floor. Sometimes strangers give you mercy without opening a door. The clock above the counter had a lazy second hand. It moved like it knew something I was too young to understand. Ticket window light, burning pale and low. Tell me what a man becomes when he has no place to go. Ticket window light, shining through the glass. I paid for one more leaving, but I couldn't buy the pass. Ticket window light, don't look away so fast. Sure, close to the vocal. Greyhound coughing outside, diesel breath in the air. Driver smoking by the door like he'd been waiting there. I heard a baby crying, heard a suitcase hit the ground, heard my own heart asking why it made so little sound. I had a letter in my coat, folded twice along the line, where she said, don't come back angry, come back gentle, come back kind. I read it till the ink went soft from my thumb and from my shame. Then I put it in my pocket like it still knew my name. No sermon in that station, no thunder from above, just fluorescent light and coffee and the unpaid cost of love. I could board that bus empty, I could stay there full of pride. Either way, that ticket had a truth on either side. Warm underneath, almost hidden, like breath behind old glass. Ticket window light, burning pale and low. Tell me what a man becomes when he has no place to go. Ticket window light, shining through the glass. I paid for one more leaving, but I couldn't buy the pass. Ticket window light, don't look away so fast. Don't look away so fast. The bus door opened, my hand let go. The ticket tore clean, but I moved slow. Ticket window light, burning pale and low.
after midnight anymore. But every winter there's still one road that calls me back, stretching through empty farmland where the telephone poles lean into the wind like old friends too tired to stand perfectly straight. It reminds me how much of life was spent getting somewhere, without realizing I was already there. I used to believe another town would change me, another job would finally make sense of all those restless years. But every new beginning carried the same man sitting behind the steering wheel. The scenery changed, the questions didn't. You can outrun a storm, you can't outrun yourself. Sooner or later you'll have to shake hands when a highway still leading me along, past every version of the man who thought he had to be so strong. When a highway stretching through the years, teaching me that peace can ride beside your fears. When a highway still rolling home. Short midnight blues phrase. I don't mind stopping for coffee in little towns nobody writes songs about. Sometimes the waitress remembers my order before I say a word, and somehow that feels like one more reminder that a good life is usually built from ordinary moments repeated long enough to matter. Funny thing about the long road, it never promises easy, only honest, very low, almost hidden. When a highway still leading me along, past every version of the man who thought he had to be so strong. When a highway stretching the years, teaching me that peace can ride beside your fears. When a highway, oh, still rolling home, still rolling home. The headlights fade beyond the hill, the engine settles into silence, still